So they picked a new justice to head the inquiry into allegations of Chinese interference in our elections back to back. Now, this one couldn't possibly be connected to Justin Trudeau, could she? So the news is out. Yeah, we've got a new justice on the case, on this case right after. I mean, we all remember what happened with the last one. It turned out he was a close pal with Justin Trudeau, ski buddies, friends of the family and neighbors at their cottage. And well, that fell apart. He ended up recusing himself. But now we've got a new justice here, a Quebec appeal court judge, Marie-Josee Hogue. I'm to be assume that that's how you pronounce that. We'll get into that. To lead foreign interference inquiry. The Globe and Mail was reporting on this today, and this is, well, here's the announcement. The Justice Hogue will be tasked with this job. Here it is, and the pronunciation. I'm got it right.
The Government of Canada, with the support of all recognized parties in the House of Commons, will appoint the Honourable Marie-Josee Hogue, a judge of the Court of Appeal of Quebec, to lead a public inquiry established under the Inquiries Act. Justice Hogue will be tasked with examining and assessing interference by China, Russia, and other foreign states and non-state actors, including any potential impacts, to confirm the integrity of and impacts on the 2019 and 2021 general elections at the national and the electoral district levels.
Now, it would be the case if it, I hate to do the pun, but it would be ugly if it were to turn out that she had something to do with Trudeau or some sort of past thing. Now, we have this guy on Twitter making a joke about it, saying, Quebec Judge Marie-Josee Hogue chosen to chair public foreign interference inquiry. Well, I better hope that her great uncle didn't live within 50 kilometers of Pierre Trudeau's dog walker's brother-in-law. Uh-oh, what might we find if we did some digging? Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, why was a former colleague of Pierre Trudeau and Jean Chrétien, Marie-Josee Hogue, selected to run the foreign interference inquiry? Why was a judge who came from the law firm which allegedly defended Justin Trudeau in the West Point Grey Academy case selected? Just asking, just throwing that one out there. Yeah, this is ugly for sure. This is turning out to be another one of these cases of, there's just you couldn't just call this nepotism. This is like, oh, wow. Again, Marie-Josee Hogue was previously a partner with Ahina Blakey, LLP, where she had worked since 1987 before becoming a partner in 1995. She's also a law clerk for the Honorable Antonio Lormer, or the Supreme Court of Canada. In 1988 to 1989. Vesper putting this one out there, doing his digging as he usually does. So they found a judge for foreign interference, Marie-Josee Hogue, who once again worked for the law firm that was home to Trudeau's. Unbelievable. Who is going to address this? Was she on the board of the Trudeau Foundation also? We wouldn't be surprised at this point, would we? Now, this seems to be like a serious case where they're trying to rush through this. They want to get through this and get into the next electoral cycle. Now, a lot of people have been claiming that, oh, maybe there's an election in the fall. That didn't happen. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't been announced. And probably there will be one in the spring. But it's looking like, no, they're going to stretch this one out as far as they can. I've been saying this for a while, that I think that the Trudeau cabinet is just going to try to hang on to power as long as they can. The ones that have penetrated these cabinets, I think, would like them to implement a lot of things. And, we've seen them ramming things through Parliament at record speed. Nothing happens with government very fast unless it's something that's not going to be good for all of us. Justice Hogue will start her work on the inquiry on September 18th, the same day the House of Commons reconvenes. She has been given the short deadlines with a requirement to submit an interim report by the end of February 2024 and a final report by December 2024. What happens right after December 2024? It's 2025, the year of the election that's planned anyway. So this is, I think they're going for the final stretch. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but I've been predicting this one for some time, and I think I'm going to stick with my guns on that one. Again, the Liberal Party has, it's the Trudeau party at this point. Trudeau has just destroyed the Liberal Party brand. The NDP has been destroyed by Jagmeet Singh, completely going against what their constituents want. And I'm talking about people who are Liberal voters. They're not into what's going on in Canada. By far, they're not happy with the job that they've been doing, and flagrantly going against everything that they even stand for. As people, I can sympathize with some people from the Liberal Party, not the crazy lefties, but I can definitely sympathize with a lot of their positions that they have. So yeah, these people are completely disappointed in what's been going on here. Now, Noe Chartier, I'm always terrible with French pronunciation, so sorry if I got that one wrong. Ottawa says results of foreign interference inquiry is needed quickly. Why? Why do they want it so quickly? They said, the Liberal government says short timetables given to newly appointed commissioner heading the public inquiry into foreign interference are necessary to promptly reassure Canadians, reassure us that the elections would be good. And this is Jagmeet Singh's big thing about why he didn't want to end his coalition over the fact that they wouldn't get into this stuff, and they wouldn't force it, and they wouldn't push for an inquiry that has some teeth. But Jagmeet Singh says, well, how can we trust our elections in Canada when there's such corruption in the electoral process? And that's insane. Now, Andrew Scheer came out and said some things publicly, and I'll just play what he had to say here.
Beijing's basic dictatorship, for which Justin Trudeau has expressed his admiration, has been interfering in Canadian elections and democracy for years. And Justin Trudeau has known about this and has done nothing about it for months. And it was only after conservative pressure to call a public inquiry that we are here where we are today. Never forget that Justin Trudeau has tried to do everything to avoid this. He had to be dragged kicking and screaming to the point where we're at today. And while we accept the terms of reference and the nomination of Justice Hogue, Conservatives will be watching like hawks to make sure that Canadians get the real answers that they deserve about foreign interference in our democracy. The first calls for a public inquiry were made in March 1st. We had a vote in the House of Commons where all the opposition parties agreed, and yet Justin Trudeau refused to take this important step. Much time was wasted, and much additional damage to Canadians' faith and confidence in our democratic systems occurred. And so we are where we are today because of that conservative pressure. But Justin Trudeau still hasn't taken concrete steps to do anything about it. He still hasn't implemented a foreign agents registry, something that security experts from across the country have been calling on him to do. There are still things that Conservatives will demand that Justin Trudeau do to preserve the integrity of our democratic institutions.
Yeah, well, he's been dragging his feet for obvious reasons. He wants to stay in power for longer, and there's not an election being scheduled until 2025. So we're gonna not see an early election. It doesn't seem that way. I don't think so. But the Conservatives are definitely working on a rebrand. We've seen this new Conservative logo is out there just to show everybody that they're not the old Conservative Party that Aaron O'Toole ran not too long ago. That a lot of people just did not even, they just didn't associate with. Of course, Pierre Poilievre heading the Conservative Party and getting a lot of steam in the polls. But let's not forget because he talked about security experts as we're going into this inquiry into Chinese interference in our government. Let's not forget what was said by the real experts. This is Mikhail Katsuya. I hope I pronounced that right. But he said this while he was testifying under oath, by the way, at one of these standing committees. I mean, just it speaks for itself.
So today, I want to be very clear, and I want to be very clear. We can prove that every federal government, from Mr. Mulroney to Mr. Trudeau, have been compromised by agents of the Communist China. Every government were informed at one point or another. Every government choose to ignore CISA's warning, either by negligence, self-interest, or partisanship. Every government were infiltrated by agents of influence acting on behalf of the Chinese government, and we knew who they were. Every government took decisions that are questionable about China and can only be explained by interference exercised from within or motivated by self-interest. Not only the sitting government have been compromised, but all federal political parties have been compromised at one point or another. The inaction of the federal government, all federal governments, were led to attacks on many municipal and provincial government. Ultimately, every government have been part of the problem, not the solution. And remember, not only China is practicing interference. Considering these facts, I respectfully would like to propose some actions to be taken. 1. Establish a mandatory process for all future elected officials, political staff, and volunteers to swear and to sign a declaration that they are not under the influence or acting on behalf of a foreign government or entity. This form will clearly warn of possible criminal procedures in case of intentional deception. 2. Eliminate the possibility for foreigners to vote for the selection of candidates and nominees. This is an obvious nonsense. 3. Give an explicit and clear security briefing to all newly elected MP and have them sign that they attended and understood the briefing, with again warning of repercussion in case of deception. Prevention is our best defense.
Absolutely. This is the thing. It's all governments going back all the way to Mulroney. And this is proven. This is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. So yeah, of course, we're hoping that we can have a political solution to this, but we can't have it without some transparency. Absolutely. So just mind you, and rebrands aside, they've all been involved with this. But the reason why I think Justin Trudeau is wanting to hang on is because he wants bills like the News Act that he put through, more bills like this to get rammed through. Right now, they're boasting that the Liberal News bill could enrich CBC by $172 million. This is an article from True North News. The CBC will make $172 million as a result of the deals signed with social media giants under the News Act. The bill, or Bill C-18 as we know it, passed earlier this year. It's amazing because of how much money the CBC already gets from our tax dollars. The CBC already receives $1.2 billion in taxpayer funding from Canadians each year. But this is the thing, they're counting their chickens. They've already got this as if they're already getting the money. But here's the thing. Right away, as soon as this legislation passed, in response to this legislation, Facebook has completely stopped sharing news in Canada altogether, which technically means it is no longer subject to the regulations. It is completely in compliance. Like, you didn't see that coming. It's funny because when these regulations come out, I say, hey, this is the way I think the companies will behave. Politicians will say, nope, 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 that's not what's going to happen. They're just going to pay up. Well, they sure didn't. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this new Justice Hogue, I think is pronounced in French. Andrew Scheer called her Hogue. But this might be an ugly situation if if it turns out she actually has ties to Trudeau. Once again, another justice investigating Trudeau. We've investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing. We've heard this too many times. Canadians are getting fed up with it, and while they're coming out, and the polls are not lying, they're not in favor of Trudeau. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.